Hi, this is Jack Miller. I want to answer a question that we get all the time. Can somebody be a part-time loan officer and mortgage broker? Uh, we are commercial lenders, so the question usually comes in context to commercial lending, but it really is for residential lending as well. And the very short answer is absolutely. No one says you have to do this full-time. In today's world of instant accessibility with iPhones or other devices, working from home, working from anywhere, you could really be anywhere and be very, very effective. In fact, I would argue you could have someone who's part-time and they could be much more effective than someone who's full-time. So don't let not being able to do it full-time hold you back. I want to break it down a little bit more. But the answer is yes, you can be part-time, not a problem. You can work anywhere, you can work anytime, same as full-time. Couple things on that line, just to, I don't want to say advice, but I've made other videos on this and I just want to reinforce it. One is set the expectations. If you're, for example, doing this part-time and you have a 9-to-5 job, just make sure that your borrowers and your lenders know that you're not going to be as receptive or in communication during certain hours. Now, if you have the type of job where you can make calls and return emails and things like that during the day, they may not know the difference. In fact, to be candid with you, when I'm out of the office, and when I'm away from the office on vacation or on a cruise or anyone, really no one knows unless I tell them. So it all depends on your schedule, but I would set the expectations if you have limitations. If you have a job where you just cannot return calls and cannot return emails certain days, certain times, let people know so they're not frustrated by the process. I've learned that people can deal with most things as long as they understand them up front. A couple other things, and these are sort of things. One is make sure you have an email set up. Make sure on your email you have your phone number. It's amazing to me how many people don't have their phone numbers on their emails or on their reply emails. Be in communication with people. Let people know that it's easy to be in communication with you. If you're hard to find, if they're having a hard time finding your number, they may move on to someone else. So think about it from their perspective. As well, when you're setting up an email, you could set up a free Gmail account or AOL or Hotmail or anything like that. But really, I would tell you that you can set up a domain name for very inexpensive. I don't know if it's 10, 20, 30, 40, or $50, but I would set up a domain, whatever your company is, your name at. It's much more professional than Jack Miller at Hotmail. Imagine my email is Jack Miller at Hotmail or Jack Miller at Gelt Financial. The implication is when you have a domain name, you're more of a serious player. And a lot of people just don't do that. So just my personal advice. I would also, again, learn, I've talked about this over and over again, learn the products. Learn what you're selling. Don't just take someone's, a lot of people out there, they'll tell a borrower, they'll speak to a borrower will say A, B, C, and D. They'll get the information and they'll just send it out to 20 lenders. And very seldom do those deals close. I tell people being a mortgage broker or a mortgage banker, whether it be commercial or residential, is a profession. It's an equal profession to being an accountant, being a stockbroker, being a doctor, anything you want, it's an equal profession. And you should invest that time and learn the products, learn what the lenders are looking for, learn how to determine values, how to determine a debt service coverage ratio, other key matrices, loan to value, CLTVs, learn how to calculate income and expenses, learn how to read a tax return, learn how to add back depreciation, learn all of the things that are critical to underwrite a deal. When you're a loan officer, whether it be full-time or part-time, you want to put yourself in as many shoes as possible. You want to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. You want to put yourself in an underwriter's shoes. You want to put yourself in an investor's shoes, an appraisal shoes, a title company's shoes. So each thing that you learn makes you more valuable to everybody else. So learn, for example, how a title company operates, learn how an appraisal calculates a value. So when something is going on, you know it like the back of your hand or whatever the expression is. So learn. And today on YouTube, all of this stuff is free to learn. You could just literally sit and let's say you want to learn how to calculate values, for example, on a multifamily or on a hospitality deal, or let's say, for example, a gas station. You could just literally do some research and within an evening or a weekend, you could be an expert at it or learn it. And so I always tell people, take the time and learn up front all of the things you need to know. Don't just throw stuff out there. If you throw stuff out there, you're not going to get the same results as you really dig in, and you're going to waste more time. So take the time up front to learn what you're doing, learn about a product, and then once you do that, you will decide if you want to be a specialist. In residential, it's a residential program. There's jumbo, there's non-QLM, but it's pretty much residential. There's not that many things to be a specialist in. Self-understood, there's foreign nationals, things like that. But in commercial, it's much different. You could be a generalist and learn a little bit of everything, and that's perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that. But what happens a lot of times, certain people become specialists. Certain people learn to master, for example, multifamily or hospitality or gas station or whatever it may be. There's a lot of different areas within the commercial arena that you could be a specialist in. So my advice to you is maybe start out learning a little bit of everything and see what you like and see what you gravitate to. And that maybe will form your specialty if you want to. If not, not. But if you're a specialist, what you'll do is you'll learn. If you're a mortgage broker, you'll learn who the buyers are. You will learn what everyone's looking for. So if you're a specialist, for example, in hospitality, not everyone not everyone likes hospitality, but you'll really hone in on what the lenders in hospitality are taking. Or if you're a specialist in SBA, you'll really be the master and the dean at that. So my advice is to be the best of the best, be the most educated in a specific field. And you'll get business by doing that. You'll 100% get business by doing that. One of the advantages of being part-time, and that's how I started this out, it's going off on a little bit of a tangent, is when you're part-time, if you have income from another source, you can really take the time to learn. There are ups and downs in the mortgage industry. And, when you get in, you may not make any money for a while. That's a simple reality. And the reality is in the business, I've been in it for 35, 36, 37 years. There's a lot of ups and downs. And every downturn, what you see almost all of the business exit the business. You see people who are in the business, they leave the business because they need to earn a living. But if you're a specialist, you can really change with the times. And if rates go higher, you can change products, change direction a little bit. And you have to reinvent yourself every couple of years a lot of times, or at least I've had to. But I've stayed in the business because I didn't have any other options and I love it. So, but learn, again, try to be a specialist and you'll see if you can focus. You also have to figure out, oops, I apologize, my phone, let me turn it off. You also have to figure out where you're getting your leads from. Are you going to get them from referrals? Are you going to get them from advertising? Wherever you're going to get them. And it takes time to develop that lead source, that steady lead source. And there's many advantages to referral-based. It could be attorneys, it could be accountants. Within attorneys, it could be workout attorneys, or it could be just regular attorneys. It could be accountants, like I say, it could be realtors. It could be any number of 50, 20, 30, 40, 50 things that you can get your leads from referrals, or you can advertise for leads. There's pluses and advantages to either or. We've made many videos on it. Check out those videos. The purpose of this is, can you do it part-time? And the answer is yes. Again, if you're doing it part-time, set the expectations. That's the big thing. And again, you don't necessarily have to tell people you're doing it part-time, depending on your work schedule. I learned one thing. People are interested in results. Nothing else matters. You know, it's very nice to be understanding and be compassionate and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the only thing matters is, did you deliver the results? Were you accessible? Did you meet their expectations, your clients' expectations? And that's what matters. And you can do that part-time, you can do it full-time. There's advantages to both. I've seen people very successfully do both. And that's a scoop. Anyway, I hope I provided some value. My intent was to like the YouTube channel, like the video, leave your comments and questions. I'll answer them. Remember, Gelt is a commercial lender, a non-bank commercial lender, and investor in commercial real estate as JV equity. And if we can do anything for you, we'd love to. Check us out at Gelt Financial and make sure you have a fantastic day. Take care.